Hey folks, so we've got another chat about these new games that came out recently, maybe even just over a month ago. Always feel free to jump in without the fanfare. I hope you have a great time checking them out. So why not kick off the day with a cool and detailed action game called MF Hunter? Surprisingly, this game isn't just about the usual realistic or sci-fi settings you'll find in the genre. Instead, the creators have taken a fresh spin there, using a touch of dark fantasy as the main theme. At its core, the game stays pretty much the same, exploring dangerous spots, trying to make it back alive, and most importantly, scoring some big prizes. You'll find yourself running into other players and encountering all sorts of monsters during these adventures. What sets it apart is the fact that death ends up meaning the loss of any loot found. To keep on top of your trophies, you need to stay alive until you reach the extraction point. Now, let's talk about what makes it a bit challenging. The gameplay revolves around third-person combat and dodging, avoiding, and doing combo attacks to take down enemy weaknesses. For now, there are just 6 different classes to dive into, and you can get creative with your talents and extras using the talent tree. Gemstones and scattered weapons. Remember, you can do this solo or with a buddy in your squad. As it stands, Steam reviews for the game are pumped. I'm super stoked for the developers not to mess with it and that the game becomes even better with each new release. Okay, so here's a creepy game like co-op horror with a touch of the Lovecraft vibe. Except the visuals, well, they're actually more like the ones from another Cove horror game. Yeah, it's kinda like that. The main point is, you're exploring this mysterious island to find some awesome treasure, and it's all based on H.P. Lovecraft's stories. The whole vibe is pretty solid though. You join a crew and go on adventures in a dark jungle, trying to find that treasure. As you go deeper in, the riddles become more tricky and the local creatures that meet you are just as scary as the ones from the Lovecraft stories. Plus, if things get too spooky, you might lose all the treasure you found. The cool part is, there's this crazy system where if you get influenced by ancient magic, your character starts getting into all kinds of hallucinations. You could think you're talking to a friend who looks like a monster or maybe a villain. It doesn't really matter since you're losing your grip on reality. And trust me, if you try to communicate with your crew using the voice chat, you gotta use it hard. The game is pretty awesome on the paper, but when it comes to actually playing it, there are some things that kinda suck. It can be fun at certain moments, but at others it falls flat, making reviews pretty balanced. Y'all ain't gonna like this one, but I've gotta say, I've seen some fantastic remakes come out this year, like the big screen retelling of the first Halo game back in 25 years. That one got its graphics and tech doused in a fresh coat of paint, featuring jaw-dropping 4K visuals, super cool animations, revamped sequences, and a totally fresh soundtrack too. The plot stays the same, but all the content has been reimagined and polished. For instance, 3 new missions have been added, soaking up the awesome teamwork between Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson before the game's main moments. You can play solo or with pals in co-op as well. It totally comes down to you. Want to go classy with a sturdy Xbox One controller? No worries. Or do you feel like bumping into some enemies together with your trusty gaming pal? You got that too, but hold up, there's something to be said for the graphics. Y'all might be all about the nostalgia, but they're not the strongest aspect of this game. Oh, and if you're fans of the original, you're kinda in the lurch. Some Steam reviews are mixed, but there are also folks who appreciate how casual and fun the gameplay is. For them, it's a fantastic casual shooter experience. The coolest part is it was exclusive to Xbox and PC, then it made a sharp transition to competitor Sony's PlayStation 5, which is pretty wild since it used to be a Michael Jordan exclusive. Y'all ever wonder how something so nostalgic could make its way to another platform? It's all thanks to the multiplayer capabilities and accessibility of the internet, and folks playing it like a story-driven shooter game instead of just a casual experience. So let's chat about some of the awesome remakes that we've seen this year, like the fantastic Black Flag game. It actually got a fresh makeover and turned into a bit of a hot topic. We won't dive into the controversy here, but just know that this game is really good. Looking at it from a first-time player's perspective, everything just feels great. You get to explore the Caribbean during a rich pirate era. The storyline with Edward Kane gets a fresh makeover using the new Envil engine. This means you can enjoy up-to-date ray-traced lighting, improved character models, and an ocean dynamic that reacts to weather changes. The game's world remains the same size, but they've added around 6 new hours of gameplay. Now, a big win for Black Flag's remake is the inclusion of 3 prequel missions that really take you into the origins of characters like Stata Bonet and Blackbeard. Plus, there are 8 new endgame missions with the new stories that include the likes of these iconic captains. But hold up, there's something else great too. They've toned down the game's levels in the modern era, which were sort of a weak aspect for Black Flag. Plus, I can't help but feel like the game's combat system took a hit. The cool thing is, the creator mentioned it was just a temporary fix from the latest Assassin's Creed games. As for the real talk, what's up with the Black Flag remake? The answer is super simple. The combat system isn't the most exciting or polished part of the game, and it looks a bit silly and awkward. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, and I couldn't help but think it doesn't belong. But hey, that's just me, so hey, if you don't have it yet, do check it out. The reviews on Steam are pretty positive, and you might just appreciate it. So this year, a bunch of games got really story-driven DLCs. Like one game called Doom, The Dark Ages got a Revelations DLC. So basically, the story picks up right after the main game ends. Our hero has this huge unexpected defeat and ends up in this cold place called Purgatory. He's gotta get out of there and find some other secrets in the fight against Hell. One cool new thing in this expansion is the Chain Spear. This changes how you play a bit, making it so you can not only rip someone's body apart, but also swing toward them like an alien to get closer. This makes combat faster and more vertical, kind of like an insane dance party where you're also throwing stuff around. The old shield comes back too, so you need to figure out how to use this stuff effectively as you switch between defense, dodging, the spear, and your other attack options. The new levels are super challenging, and the puzzles and discovering all these cool places feel super interesting. The darker areas, new demons, awesome arenas, and the feeling that the designers have really unlocked the combat system's potential are all pretty awesome. Reviews actually have good stuff, no matter how short they are. If you enjoyed the new Doom, definitely check out the expansion. So there's this sci-fi survival game called The Altars, right? And it got a pretty awesome storytelling boost this year with the DLC Last Variable. This little boost takes place after the game's protagonist, Ian, meets up with a mysterious oasis on a dying planet. This green paradise seems to have survived since the deadly solar cycles. All the while, years go by and research totally falls on its face. So an old Ian springs to life and creates another copy of himself. This time around, our guy's not just going for long treks in a huge truck, he's building an underground scientific base. It's between sunrises that you have to collect resources, craft your home, learn how to use technologies, and transform 9 separate areas. Once they're all done in cryosleep, they wake up to a whole new planet. The changes on the surface introduce new paths, materials, and ways to explore. Plus, there's fresh outfits for our main character too. A geologist, a biologist, a chemist, and a physicist, each of whom brings their own skills and personality to the team. And while working on their stuff, they're also dealing with relationships and keeping the crew together, which only has one person in it. If you love the Altars and are looking for something to add to your collection, this DLC is worth checking out. It's not the smallest edition, but it's totally engaging. Fellow gamers, I'm excited to share with you that I can give you a sneak peek of something coming soon. So, if you watch the video on August 1st or 2nd and the game is actually out on the 4th, there's no point in holding me back. After all, I was eagerly waiting for this project. Now, if you're not familiar with it, this game is set in a dystopian Japan where it's not just the humans on the brink. Animals have turned into massive monsters raging against all odds. The main character, Yu, is infected in a kind of way, and because she's emotionless and no longer remembers, she becomes a lonely outcast. In this world, she's accompanied by her loyal dog, Ku. Together, they must navigate the ruins, find powerful creatures, and snoop for their powers to get close to the mythical beast of Reincarnation. The gameplay is fairly standard for this type of game, with some RPG elements thrown in. As the story progresses, real-time combat gets a hold. The main character dodges, fires at enemies, and blocks foes, and her skills keep her in the game. The game is long, and I believe it could stretch into 30 hours. It sure looks amazing, but let's wait and see how this unfolds. As for me, I'll be sticking around and waiting for exciting, well-told stories to take over. So today, let's have a blast playing this chill adventure game for a couple hours. You could try out Haven the Lost, which just came out on Steam. It takes you to a hidden gem of a tourist spot nestled between the mountains and the thick fog. You'll be playing as Emily, the main character who's got to find her missing uncle. This game is perfect for those who enjoy atmospheric adventures with zero action. All day, we'll just roam around empty buildings, scribble on paper, grab stuff, and piece together a complicated conspiracy. One cool feature of this game is that most puzzles are challenging and thought-provoking. You'll quickly jump into multi-stage puzzles where you'll have to match notes, inspect the surroundings, and figure out the whole damn thing on your own. The game's other amazing aspect is the quality of its atmosphere. With cheerful, mellow tunes jazzing in the background, a cool, vintage vibe, and all kinds of wild challenges keeping you on your toes. It's like they've made the perfect playset for puzzle enthusiasts who love a good story-driven dive. So come on, let's get this game going and enjoy some chill gaming together. You know what? If you're looking for a casual game that's not exactly a brainstorming challenge but still gives you hours of enjoyment, Moss the Forget Relic is off the hook. So imagine ourselves as a mystery hero who strolls through a book world. Our main goal here is to save a brave mouse who's trapped in a dangerous situation. All the while, we'll navigate through a range of exciting places such as ruins, swamps, castles, and forgotten temples. The gameplay is pretty simple. We just need to control the hero's movement and sword fights using both hands. Plus, we make things move, change mechanisms, and hold off foes while breezing through. Moss also has a reasonable puzzle that includes touching things around the game world with both hands. Yep, you've guessed it, a mixture of puzzle solving and exploration. Now let me tell you, the graphics are nothing short of amazing. The main draw here is, of course, the stunning animations of the cool mouse. It's like we're transported to a magical fairy tale world where enjoyable puzzles and 2 games lie in wait. And let's not forget about this neat little bonus. It's a VR game that brings them all together for a single player adventure. If you love games like this, you just gotta check out Moss the Forget Relic. So if you're into pixel art games with a magical touch, then Ruby K. Pulsma should be on your radar. It's this cool game that takes us to this creepy fairy tale realm where a princess named Ruby is coming back for her revenge against the place she's lived for so long. Sadly, things took a turn for the worse in the Scarlet Kingdom, and the place is on the verge of falling apart, filled with monstrous creatures that bleed out. But don't worry, the game is still fun and exciting. You'll get to battles throughout the journey where you engage with bosses, and you can tell the developers put a lot of effort into it. You aren't just playing a typical game. This is a thrilling series of fights that you can watch. So if you like your action-packed gameplay, you'll really dig this. Plus, just look at the awesomely well done pixel art. The controls work so well. There's a variety of bosses to enjoy. And it's unique in how it focuses on you. Plus, they didn't forget about the whole expressive pixel art thing, did they? I mean, it's got the responsive controls, variously themed boss fights, and even a one-of-a-kind focus system that'll get you in the zone. If you're a fan of Metro-style games, buckle up because this is definitely a project worth checking out. So you know how some games have super cool animations? Yeah, that's what today's got going on. This game is all about the Avatar universe, and it's like a simple 2 dimensions fighting game where you can see all sorts of awesome characters team up and figure out why something went totally crazy in time and space. The story is created by the people who made the animated show, who've sure got a lot of talent. One thing you might notice though, it's not as deep as the original show. There are 12 characters in the game, each doing their own thing. Earthbenders control the space, while fiery fighters go after each other with super strong attacks, and the Airmasters rely on speed to win. Plus, you can have a cool support character to help you with combos or taking out dangerous stuff. Yup, it's super fun to play solo, but of course, you can also hang out with other players online. Visually speaking, it's all hand-drawn animation that looks awesome and captures the vibe of the animated show. Plus, you can even pick up an option to add some colorful bitmaps. Who knew a simple fighting game could be so good? You wouldn't believe the crazy awesome game that turned up in July. It's named DragonSword Awakening. Now, here's something that might shock you. It's like Genshin or another gacha game with none of the gacha. Plus, they fixed the limit of energy for playing and didn't need to use real money to beat your favorite characters. This is pretty much how an open-world anime RPG should be. On the other hand, the story is perfectly fine for this type of game. You play as the main character who sets off to the kingdom to rescue some friends and stop a dragon from causing chaos. And oh boy, it's almost like it succeeded once before. You'll need to find legendary warriors from the past and why the ancient beast is coming back. When exploring this game, you'll find mountains, caves, dungeons, the ocean, and nearby settlements with side quests. There are even cooking, treasure hunting, and riding mounts. And there you have it. If you're tired of all that gacha nonsense, give this one a try. So there's this game called Neverness to Everest, or TEM, that came out on Steam. The best part about it is you can play as the first anomaly hunter without any official permission. To make some cash, the heroes join the staff of an old antique shop. With our new buddies in tow, we're on the case to find out what's cooking in this bizarre place. And we'll also discover supernatural stuff hiding in plain sight. The main difference from most gacha games is the city that you play in. You can drive cars, buy and change cars, buy apartments, delivery, get into racing, fish, do a little bit of work, and even do errands. It's like playing an anime of GTA, but instead of having to do crimes, we're hunting anomalies. As for battles, we're in control of a squad of heroes. We can easily switch between them, perform awesome combos, and use different elements. The fights are spectacular and super thrilling. Of course, as time goes on, the formula of earning points, leveling up, and collecting loads of resources brings back flashes of the game's mobile origins, so I'll keep you in the loop. So if you're into city building games and Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, you gotta check out Corsair Cove. This one-of-a-kind game from the guys behind Tropic 6 is all about turning old-school pirates into huge logistical puzzles. The story goes like this. Over time, the crown takes over the seas and all the free pirates are wiped out. So, a shipwrecked crew ends up on a deserted island. They decide to turn it into the last refuge of pirate life. We've got a couple of loony pirates and we're slowly building up a fortress with bars, shipyards, weapon workshop, and a bunch of hungry roving shots. The main focus is making everything vertical, which is super tough because there's almost no free space for buildings. So we've got to put them on cliffs and connect them with bridges, stairs, lifts, and cable cars. As part of the game, we build ships, choose captains, and send out teams on scavenger hunts, smuggling missions, and battles against the crown. Even the sea escapades are fun with quick card-based stuff and dice rolls to see how our crew stacks up. Give it a shot and let me know what you think. You'd be surprised at how long it takes for something to finally get released in the gaming world, especially if it's something like Scrap Mechanic, which was in early access for 10 years. Yup, you heard me right. It took 10 long years for the developers to finally press the shuttlecock button. For those who aren't familiar with the game, Scrap Mechanic is an extremely addictive minigame that was released back in 2010, with version 1.0 now being released. Everything seems to have come together for one heck of an update. This new release has turned the usually laid-back sandbox into a full-fledged adventure with a captivating story. You play as a mechanic who's smashed into space on a distant agricultural planet. As always, the local worker robots have a mind of their own, so we need to figure out what's causing all the trouble and find a way back home. It's still pretty much construction though. From building cars, farming machines, combat robots, and even some bizarre robots, you can create just about anything your wildest imagination can create. With the release update, you get access to a massive mining area and loads of new content. For those who absolutely love experimenting and trying out different gameplay options, you might find yourself very, very hooked to Scrap Mechanic for a good long time. I'm pretty sure you'd agree that if you're a fan of games that offer limitless opportunity for exploration, creativity, and fun, Scrap Mechanic is the game for you. So there's this game called ZeroSpace, right? This year's top secret new release is actually pretty interesting. It's more of a real-time strategy game than a simple base building thing. Basically, you play as Astro, who's in charge of a human protector unit. The plot thickens when we find ourselves low on a rare resource called Flow. The whole interstellar travel thing is hanging by a thread, and the Orion sector is split up between different warring civilizations. While we're on the missions, we chat with the crew, get the ship up to speed, bond with our buddies, and make life-changing decisions. Battling is like playing a familiar game. We gather resources, start building bases, create troops, stuff like that, and then we've got huge robots and rockets to throw at the enemy. Each faction does its own thing, and you can even hook up with other mercenaries and heroes to mix things up. In terms of army management, this game is super user-friendly. There's loads of different missions, a broad range of units, and a cool twist on single-player campaigns in modern RTS games. Even so, because it's in early access, and the story is still pretty much unbelievably incomplete. Yeah, it's hard to ignore that this can't be the next StarCraft. But honestly, I think it looks like it could really have something to offer, and that the positive Steam reviews are mostly a result of that, so there you go, my friends. ZeroSpace may not be the next big thing in the RTS world, but it looks like it could be a solid game with a lot of potential. And this is BL, that same unusual survival game with blades that generated so much hype in 2024, and since then, has not only acquired new content, but for once, has finally reached version 1.0, and now it's no longer just a Funsin' box with an unusual idea, but a huge adventure capable of captivating you for dozens of hours. For those who missed the game's popularity, let's briefly recap. We find ourselves on an archipelago inhabited by mysterious creatures called blades. You can catch them, breed them, use them in battles, and even send them to work on your own base, sometimes going completely overboard. Some grow plants and cook food, others mine for labor, generate electricity, and assemble weapons. Meanwhile, the hero himself doesn't stand aside. Explore islands, shoot guns, traverse dungeons, and battle powerful bosses. Version 1.0 finally adds a more coherent storyline, leading to the mysterious world tree, new regions, floating islands, additional pallbearers, weapons, and movement methods appear. And battles with tower bosses become noticeably more varied. You can play solo, or of course in Cal with 4 players, or on dedicated servers for up to 32 people. The main reason so many people have always loved the game is the freedom of progression, which makes such experience essentially unique. And if you haven't checked it out yet, then you should fix that immediately. Have you heard about Funnel Runners, a co-op game that's been getting a lot of buzz on Steam? It's got this cool concept where you team up with friends to rescue people from a massive tornado raging through their city, but instead of showing you scary monsters, this game scares you with a huge tornado that can totally wipe out a city. The main events happen in an American residential area where a team of weather experts must do their homework and get out of the way before the storm takes over. If you're playing alone or with up to 8 players, your goal is to search houses, find fuel, tools, and random parts of spare parts, then fix a crippled van. Time is running out and the weather is getting worse, with lightning closer and the wind stronger. Buildings are crumbling and things can just fly away with your team. Map, items, vehicle breakdowns, and weather conditions change between runs. So trying to plan a perfect route beforehand just isn't working. You gotta split up, talk on the radio, pass on tools, and decide if it's worth taking a new risk with another house. The best moments come when one player steadily fixes the engine while a second person yells it out from a nearby street, and a third player is already being carried away into the unknown. Sadly, Funnel Runners isn't in full version yet, so there's only one minigame area with a few different maps. It's a bit boring repairing the same van over and over again, but it still adds up as a great night out with friends. The games in this video might be the weirdest and most unexpected ones you've ever seen. You know those train things that do all sorts of stunts? Yeah, that's what this video's about. It takes some crazy old Sega games and adds in Tony Hawk's pro tricks, and we hit the road through a colorful part of Japan. The local tracks are run by a company that goes against the people of the city, consisting of hoodlums, rebels, and more. Our main objective is to become engineers and earn our rivals' respect. The story is simple, but it keeps you entertained with funny situations, interesting characters, and completely unpredictable challenges. Our train goes faster and faster, spins around turns, jumps off and rears back on ramps, does all sorts of stunts, slides along more tracks, and even changes the direction of gravity. Each route lasts a good few minutes, but during that time, the game jumps into crazy action like chasing after a giant robot, a fight with a beast of the sea, or riding a ride that makes your heart race. This game is not only full of gorgeous drawings and varied locations, but also has an awesome soundtrack that kicks things off. It's bright, fun, and a perfect game for Sonic fans, or anyone who grew up with classic Dreamcast games. Alright, I've got an idea for another fun thing to do today. Like maybe playing this cool action roguelike game called Tears of Metal. We're thrown into an island where we take control of a Scottish battalion and lead it back to our homeland. Each campaign takes us through a bunch of epic battles in huge arenas. Our hero goes up against all sorts of enemies, scatters them for miles, takes over territories, and even faces powerful bosses. What's cool is you can tell your allies what to do too, like guiding archers at the most risky targets. You can play this solo or with a friend, up to 4 players anyways, and before you know it, everyone's fighting in a hilarious medieval meat grinder. Between fights, we pick random emblems and artifacts to mix things up and create combo attacks with all kinds of destructive power. But as we keep leveling up, the threats increase and our final boss becomes stronger. So it's up to us to decide whether it's worth taking the risk for a new reward or just move on before it's too late. The game has this awesome comic book feel, a super metal soundtrack, and it's really enjoyable to play. Plus, the co-op factor is just plain fun, which makes the reviews all the more positive.